Hello, mountain bikers of the world. Welcome to the 6th day here at Crankworx Whistler, where it all began. And today we have Fox Air DH, A-Line, the most legendary trail in mountain biking. That's what our racers are racing here today. We have our pro women and pro men coming up. It all starts right now.
Officially time to welcome the world right here to Crankworx Whistler. Stop number 3 on the Crankworx World Tour. Brad J here, joined by our sport announcer, Tristan Merrick. We're in for a big one today. Day 6 here of Crankworx.
It's Wednesday. Where are the days going, man? Where are the days going? But today is a big day. It's one of my favorite here.
We talk about the Fox Air DH. That's what's on tap for you today. You talk about the Fox Air DH. 13th year. The Air DH has been going on since the beginning, much like Garbo. Why is that?
It's just a classic. It's the #1 ridden trail in the world. It's the #1 ridden trail in the Whistler Bike Park because it set the standard for how bike parks are built all around the world. It's got jumps, it's got berms, it's perfectly manicured, and it's really, really wide. And it's just fun to ride. It's a downhill pump track, BMX track. I don't even know how you want to explain it, but there's a lot of jumps. It's extremely fun to ride.
Yep.
But very difficult to race for our athletes.
Well, we talk about Crankworx being a world tour, but we all started with the beginning, and that's right here in Whistler, BC, the epicenter of mountain biking going on. And this place is special. Tristan, you live here, you love it, you spend every single day here. How much do you enjoy it?
It's pretty good. I mean, I've been here for 12 years. I have the Whistler Bike Park in my backyard. Just pinch myself. Not dreaming. I'm not dreaming. I'm up here at Madison Crankworx, and we get to ride the bike park all the time. So I'm living the dream as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you've been talking about it. A-Line is the big one. This is the most iconic trail here in Whistler, and we look forward to the Fox Air DH. And time to check in with the third member of our team. Let's check in now with Hannah Bernard. Hannah?
Well, thanks very much, guys. I'm just here down at the finish line coming into the Fox Air DH, and I have a Fox athlete here with me, Mark Wallace. Now, Mark, you raced World Cups. Coming into the competition here today, it's a very, very different race. What's the biggest adaptation that you make coming into this contest here today?
I think the biggest change is the bike, opting for a trail bike instead of the regular downhill bike, just to try and carry a bit more speed through all the turns and over the jumps.
Is there anything mentally that you have to change up going into the contest?
Maybe think a bit more like a BMX racer.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, obviously, the late and great Stevie Smith, such a legend in Fox Air DH, won this event so many times. Does that give you a little bit of a boost of motivation coming into the contest?
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to win it in Steve's honor, so definitely be going for it, but see what happens.
Do you have a goal coming into the contest?
Podium would be amazing, but anything in the top 10, be pretty happy with.
All right, well, we are rooting for you. Mark Wallace coming into the Fox Air DH here today. Guys, back up to you.
I like what Mark Wallace says there. Why is a World Cup race, a UCI course, different than an A-Line here in your Air DH?
Well, with A-Line here, we've got a machine-built track, Brad. It's extremely wide. It's got jumps, it's got rollers, it's got berms, and it's a whole beast of its own. This is how bike parks have started all around the world. Everybody wants an A-Line at their bike park. Well, and we have one right here. So it's just a little over 2.5K. It's going to be extremely difficult, though, for our racers today. It's a lot of effort and physical demand on the body to try and squash all those jumps and keep your speed up. As well as your descent, you are dropping a fair bit there, 316 meters. I've said it before, it's fun to ride, extremely difficult to race to get all the way down to the valley bottom.
Well, it's one of the most traveled courses out there, ridden courses out there in the world when you're talking about A-Line and your Fox Air DH. Well, when we talk about the Fox Air DH, this is the 13th year of it. Who are some of the people we should look for as far as the ladies go?
Well, with all of our competitors, they're usually doing double, triple, quadruple duty here. And of course, Casey Brown, she's going to be one of our ladies to watch because she knows how to jump. She out-jumps the boys. She has better style than most of the boys out there. Biggest thing, though, is she did the Enduro World Series earlier this week. Garbo DH, how fresh is she going to be feeling today?
Yeah, third and a fourth in those. How about Annika Bertin?
Well, this is our Queen of Crankworx from 2015. She has dealt with a bit of illness this year, so we'll see if she's fatigued or not. But it's going to be great to see her back out here, and she knows how to scrub them jumps.
All right, then there's somebody we definitely got to talk about. She's going for the 4-peat, Jill Kittner.
What can you say about this girl? She is in a commanding lead right now. She started the year off strong in Rotorua. She qualified first in that DH race, and then, of course, backed it up. I didn't think she was going to be able to do that. And then she came out with a huge point lead. She hasn't really shown any flaws, any chinks in the armor at all this season, Brad.
Boy, and I'll tell you what, when you have a commanding lead like the one that Jill Kittner has right now for the Queen of Crankworx, you can really do no wrong. And the pressure has not been on her because she hasn't had to compete on all the events. Let's talk about the men we're looking at now. Who are the guys to watch?
Well, I mean, confidence is key with all of our athletes. And, of course, with our men, of course, Brooke McDonald. This is a guy that might excel on the course here today because there's big holes, it's loose, it's dry, and he has this bulldog man strength, something we don't see out in any other competitor. He is going to be able to really rock it the whole way down.
I like that bulldog man strength, and he definitely got a ton of that. All right, another rider to watch for the guys. Who are you thinking?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, there's so many people that you can choose throughout the day here. But, of course, Remy Thirion, this is the guy that won it in Leger. He was able to deal with probably the most challenging downhill course that's ever been raced in the history of downhill.
True.
So much rain, deep ruts, and it was just no easy feat. This guy almost looked like he was sped up compared to everybody else, and that's how he took the win there.
All right, so we've covered two guys to look for, but there's another guy. He's going to be last. Who are we talking about when we think about the third and final guy?
He's no stranger to winning in Crankworx downhills. Has yet to do here in Whistler, though, and that is Loic Bruni. I'm excited to see what he can do here today. Big crash earlier this year, had a broken collarbone, so he's kind of racing himself back into shape and into fitness here. Of course, his teammate lives here, so of course he's here, with Finn Isles, and it's great to see him. I'm excited to see what kind of show he puts on today.
And you know what? You look at Bruni, and he's been solid fourth in the Garbo. So is he going to be too tired? I don't think so. This guy knows how to get done. A podium out there in Mount St. Anne out there on UCI. Well, let's take a look at our start list for the guys. The guys we're going to be seeing come down this course here. The ones that are going to be doing it for real. Here's a look at it right now. Got Adrian Larone, man. He's going to be starting things off.
Yeah, Adrian's got to put in some work. He has lost the points lead right now for King of Crankworx, Mitch Ropalato. Brian Lopes, I'm intrigued to see what will happen with Brian. I mean, he's getting a little bit older, but I feel like he could surprise a few people. Of course, Jack Moore, we saw him on the podium yesterday. Sam Blinkensop, this is a guy in the driver's seat right now with that overall. Bernard Kerr, Lord Greenland, I'm excited to see this guy as well. Greg Williamson's been having a really strong year. Mick Hanna, he's won here before. And then, of course, Connor Fearon will be the second last rider to drop in. Australian, he knows how to rail a berm and knows how to jump really, really well.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're excited to bring it to you. I know you're excited, ready to get this thing going. It's your Fox Air DH. We're going to get things started with the ladies here in just a little bit. Thanks for joining us. Day number 6 here, Crankworx Whistler, stop number 3 on the World Tour.
To be the best, you have to go all in. We're all in, 100% dedicated to one by. The 12-speed cassette's 10 to 50 tooth spread gives you a 500% gear range. This is Eagle, the all-new generation of one-by drivetrain technology from the company that lives one by.
What is luxury? For Jeep Grand Cherokee, it's premium leather. And being ready for anything with best-in-class 4x4 capability and the confidence of select terrain. For the luxury of going wherever the adventure takes you. Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. 75 years in the making. Attractive lease rates now available.
Existence, we're walking on thin ice. We take every breath for granted. We strike with divine rights. Pursuit of progress with reckless abandon. The damage left to the next, like toxic heavy down. It's only you against you. You're no one's enemy. True, the tangle when we win. It's only you against you. This world will unravel. It's our destiny. Man will destroy its own.
Crankworx Whistler, brought to you by Whistler Mountain Bike Park. Love the feeling of being truly awake. And by Dose.ca, your entertainment fix. And by Samsung. Live connected with Samsung. And by Jeep. Test drive a new Jeep today. All right, Tristan, we talk about A-line being such a run that you can just kind of style out, boost a lot of air, but that brings us to the next segment we're doing here, squash or scrub. What is squash or scrub? Can you explain?
Well, it's how you're going to get down the track the fastest. Like I said, when you're riding it, it's extremely fun. You're playing around, you're throwing the bike sideways, you're doing no-handers, no-footers.
Yeah, look.
You know, you're enjoying it with your friends. I think that's the best part of this trail. But come race time, it's just you and only you, and everybody yelling and screaming at you to go as fast as you can. So in order to stay quick, you got to squash the jump. And that means a lot of physical effort and keeping yourself from getting too much airtime. The more your wheels are on the ground, the more you can put down the power, and the more speed you have through all the corners and the jumps. And it's all about the rhythm.
But aren't you squashing the fun here?
I know, it is a bit of a fun killer when you have to squash it. That's what always made it such a hard race for me to do, is you have to squash it. But with the top guys, the jumps normally, they're like 6 feet off the ground. They're only a couple inches. But then, of course, you can scrub it as well. An extremely physical maneuver to do because it's all about timing. And you can over scrub. It's all about keeping the bike as low as you can, but with the speed. So you don't actually have to brake it. You're turning off the lip, using your hips, and just laying that bike sideways.
Squash or scrub. Way to break it down for us right there. All right, speaking of breaking things down, we've been talking a little bit about the Queen of Crankworx, you and I, talking about who's got the better chance. Let's take a look at our standings so far for Queen and King of Crankworx.
Things are definitely heating up with this, and there actually has been a little bit of change recently, which is pretty cool.
Wow, though, 890 points for Jill?
That's true, but you know what? She had a bigger margin at the start of the week, but we haven't seen Jill do anything. Casey Brown's been putting in work with the Enduro World Series, her result there, along with the Garbanzo result. So, but Jill Kittner, she's going to be coming out today, and she's going to be swinging for the fences.
All right, well, let's talk about the guys. We see Jill Kittner with a commanding lead by 190, but Casey Brown breathing down her neck. But let's talk about the guys. Bernard Kerr, well, he won it last year, but this year he's kind of far out. I don't think he's got a chance of making it in there, but some other guys do. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it sucks to not see Kerr up there in the lead, but we're seeing something a little bit different. And this actually shocked me yesterday when it came up after Garbanzo race. Sam Blinkensop has taken the lead. Adrian Lerone hasn't really been having the best of luck this week. Thomas Slavic as well. So Blinkensop clearly in the driver's seat, and we're going to see him here again today, and he's podiumed here multiple times. Well, taking a look at our start list for the ladies, there's Claire. She's competed back in the beginning, 2004. She got third the first year the RDH ever took place. Pretty sure I remember seeing photos of her in the magazines back in the day when she did that, and it was just like, wow, A-line. She's riding the Whistler Bike Park. Little did I know I'd be moving up there so soon after that. Well, and then there's Jill Kittner at the bottom. She'll be going last, and she is in the hunt for the four-peat. Can she do it? Tell you what, she's got her work cut out for her, and there's a lot of ladies breathing down her neck for your Fox Air DH. I tell you, you think about how the standings are going right there, and you're wondering, when I first saw Jill Kittner with that amazing lead, I thought there's no way anyone can catch her. But then Casey Brown has been coming on strong, trying to take that away. She's been putting in work, and I mean, the results are deserving the amount of effort that she does in the offseason, Brad. So, I mean, we've seen her be the queen of Crankworx originally before we had it as a world tour, right? Just as the Whistler stopped, she's a dominating force. She knows how to ride a bike, and she knows how to put in work throughout the week at each and every event that she enters. Well, and you look at Casey Brown, third at the Enduro, fourth at the Garbo. So is she going to be a little bit tired? Can she keep this momentum going to eventually maybe even pass Jill and win the Queen of Crankworx, or is it Jill's to lose? That's going to be a really hard call. That's what I'm intrigued about. I think that's why this is such a great format, because we get to see how things unfold throughout the week. Is she going to be tired? I'd have to think she's a little bit tired. You race the Enduro World Series on Sunday. Monday, quote-unquote, a day off, but really you're training. Tuesday, Garbo DH. Then again here today you're racing, Garbanzo DH yesterday, then Air DH today. That's back to back to back. It's a lot of, and then she's got to go to work tomorrow. She's got to go to work Friday. She's got to go to work Saturday. She can finally rest on Sunday, but I'm pretty sure she's got something she's got to do on Sunday anyways. So that's a lot of seat time right there, don't you think? And talking about Blanky for just as Sam Blankensop, he's got 2 podiums in the Air DH, and he's got 2nd in the Garbo and then 7th in the Enduro. So he's like that silent assassin. He just keeps making that charge towards her, and he's already passed Adrian Lerone.
it caught me off guard. In all honesty, I didn't really see that happening, but I didn't look at the King standings after Sunday. And then all of a sudden we got the awards yesterday, and I was like, wow, this is pretty ridiculous. He's jumping up. Okay, we got our first rider coming down, our forerunner, and that is actually none other than Jackson Goldstone right there.
Oh man, seen him around here for a long time. Was just a little kid.
This kid will take you to school if you're not careful on these trails. Oh, there we go. He's having fun out there. I was like, well, what are you going to do on your run? He's like, well, I'm just going to do what I always do and just style it out. So I'll just, a little turn down scrub over that. That's the perfect definition of a scrub there. He wasn't squashing the jump. He was scrubbing it. But again, this kid has been laying the groundwork for all the other Groms out there. This is the hero to all these kids, and he's still just a youngster himself. That's the scary thing. There he is, rounding things out, coming into the GLC. He laid down a smoking time to run his category early on. Tabletop off the drop there.
The kids' work winner. Here he is, Jackson Goldstone, bouncing across the line. Put your hands together for him. The future. Let's send it down to Hannah, standing by with our young Jackson Goldstone. Hannah.
All right, guys, we're so used to the pro men and pro women, but we actually have KidsWorks here, and we have a guy that needs no introduction, Jackson Goldstone. How was your race here today?
Well, it was really good. I felt really fast, and yeah.
Yeah, you had a really good time. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.
Give it up for Jackson Goldstone right there. Now we're focusing 100% on the ladies. There is Claire Bouchard. Now, think about Claire. Back in 2004, the first year of the RDH, she got third. Here's Claire taking off.
It's going to be interesting to see how she is, Brad. She got a podium yesterday in the Garbo DH, but she was also a little rattled when she came across the line, saying that she had a huge crash up top. Of course, adrenaline takes over. The body doesn't stiff up right away, but it'll be interesting to see what happens here today for her if she's feeling the effects of the fatigue. We're seeing the split time there coming up, that she's almost 5 seconds back from our current leader right now. But she's trying to get through that rock section right there, and that's been reworked this year. It's actually quite a bit faster than it has been in the past. They trimmed out a few trees, got rid of a few rocks. It's a little more straight through there, but Claire, as she said yesterday, she's getting older, and these girls are getting faster and younger each and every year. So it's just great to see her out here, though, just putting it down, laying it on the line, and trying to show everybody what's up here. And again, she's got that team, the Crankworx Race Development Team. So Piper Ullman, one of her riders, was out here earlier on today doing her job.
Well, she was third in the Garbo DH just the other day. Here she comes, Claire Bouchard, pedaling across. What's going to be the time for her? Trying to beat it 4:27.76. Third place, 4:33.38. Let's hear it for Claire Bouchard right there. It's hard to believe. You look way back in 2004 when she competed the first ever Air DH, took third place, and she's been going strong. And congratulations to Claire getting on that podium yesterday, even with that fall, still coming away with third place. So congratulations to her on that one. And she will land in third place right now. Time to beat 4:27.76. I have Verbeek holding that one down.
Well, looking up top right now, Emily Siegenthaler. She's up in that starting gate. This is the girl that got second in Leger for us, so she was able to tame the wet, muddy conditions in the ruts there. Will she be able to tame the dry, loose, and dusty conditions here on A-Line? So she's riding a trail bike today, so hoping to carry a bit more momentum through the holes and everything like that. But the difficulty with that bike is it makes you feel like you're going really fast, but sometimes it's not going that quick because it's just so, abrasive to that bike. Downhill bike, I would think would be almost a little bit faster today.
So the time that she is trying to beat is via Verbeek's 4:27.76. That's the top spot. Georgia Astle in that second spot. She's got the 4:31.05.
There we go. She's a little bit back right now, 6.5 seconds, but she might be able to make up a little bit of time through here. And of course, that little pedally section across the bottom there as you go over to the GLC drop. See if she's staying fresh out there again. Part of that Pivot Factory race team with Bernard Kerr and Elliot Jackson. Good little trio of riders there. Uber talented at what they do. Styling it out off that final jump. And this is where the trail bike would excel. You're able to just hammer on the pedals there across the flats. Keep your momentum up as you come down into the GLC drop here, the finish of the day.
Well, here she goes right now. Emily Siegenthaler putting that one down, rubber side down. Couple pedal strokes across the line. That's going to check in with a 4:34.28. Fifth place for Emily Siegenthaler right there, the Swiss rider. Trying to hold on right there in the top 5 position for her. Annika Bertine coming up, Casey Brown, Miranda Miller, Tracy Hanna on the way, Manon Carpenter and Jill Kittner yet to cross the line right here. Jill Kittner, remember, going for that 4-peat. But Via Verbeek still holding down 4.27, 7.6. Oh, there she is right there, Annika Burton right now. Next up, she is the queen of Crankworx, so she's the defending queen, Tristan.
She is. She is royalty in our eyes here, Brad.
Royalty.
So it's great to see her out here today. You can actually see she doesn't have a number plate there with a number on it. She's actually got the plate that says she is the queen of Crankworx from last year. So another rider. She races the Enduro World Series, opting for the trail bike here today. She has a background, though, in 4-cross and BMX, which is very influential in today's track. So her style should be able to really, gel well with the trail here. Again, she got second last year, and then she got third in Garbanzo in 2015, and this year hasn't really necessarily been the year for her, but I'm intrigued to see what the split is here as she's coming in the lower part of the track. If she's in touch or not with it, she'd be able to put down the power. She's very deceiving. You look at her and you're like, I joke with her. I'm like, you got them little stick legs on you, but there's so much horsepower in those legs. She's rounding out, looking smooth through there. Again, slippery conditions as well today. Again, that dust is very unpredictable on top of the rocks and all the hard pack there.
And she's been taking it easy, hasn't competed in a lot of events this year here in Whistler. She's been kind of saving herself a little bit. She's not going to be able to get that queen title this year. She's too far out of it from this one, but just to get back on that bike and feel good, that's what she's trying to do. Here she comes around towards the GLC drop, and your Fox Air DH. She's going to set that one down, the landing gear down. Pedaling across from the Netherlands, Annika Bertien going to check in, 4:36.02, and that is a 6th place finish right there for Annika Bertien.
I think the biggest thing is just good to see her out here, good to see her battling it out, working away, squashing some jumps, maybe throwing a little scrub in there. Again, our pro women right now, it's their turn to do work.
5 more riders to go in the mix here. Via Verbeek handling it down with that 4:27.76. Here is Casey Brown. Sun's out, guns out for Casey Brown today. And you look at what she has done. 3rd at the Enduro, 4th at Garbo. But she's been a busy gal this year in Whistler.
She has, Brad. I mean, she's no stranger. So she's got the downhill bike today. She's opting for more travel there. It should be a little bit better to get through those holes in each and every berm. And as I talked about, this girl, she wins every whip-off contest that she goes in. So this is a good combination here with a trail that is nothing but jumps. She's going to be able to stay low over everything. She does know how to scrub, which is definitely beneficial. But we'll have to see fatigue. So she's a little bit out of touch right now, but 3 and a bit seconds. That's not too far back. She might be able to make up time through here, especially how rough it is in that rock section with the downhill bike.
And if she could beat Jill Kittner here, that would just improve her chances of coming away with the queen of Crankworx here for 2016. So a good finish is very important in this race.
Yeah, cutting the inside of the tunnel jump right there, so she stayed right to the edge. And it's not that she necessarily needs to win here today, but if she's able to finish ahead of Jill.
Yeah, that's the key.
Any points that you can put up on her, that is a good thing. And again, top 10 is where it's at. But her time's looking good here.
Hey, check the time right now for Casey Brown, 4:25 and counting. Can she do it? Casey Brown pedaling across the line. That's going to be a 4:30.18 into 2nd place for Casey Brown. And like you said, doesn't necessarily have to win it, just needs to finish higher than Jill Kittner for a better shot at that queen title and to catch up the point difference. Wow, good one right there for Casey Brown. Taking a look at what's played out so far for the ladies with just a few left to go here. Looks like 4 more to go. You can see Astle in that 3rd spot, 4:31.05. Brown in 2nd right there.
I'd like to point out top 5 is all Canadian right now.
Oh, now we're going to be seeing Miranda Miller. And she took 1st at the Garbo DH, a 5th place finish in Mount St. Anne, and 5th place in the Fox Air DH last year in 2015 for Miranda Miller.
Just an amazing photo that she had there in the sidebar, giving us the stink eye. Miranda Miller cruising on down. So another rider going with the trail bike style here. So again, you'll be able to stay a little bit lower. You'll be able to pedal a little bit more efficient. But again, it makes things a lot more difficult through the rough parts of the track here. Again, every corner, from what I've heard from riders, has been beat up a little bit. There is fair bit of loose rocks and dust, but Miranda's coming in. She's in the lower part here. Okay, 10 and a bit seconds back, so you got to think she's feeling the effects of a long week of racing here, Brad, with the Enduro World Series.
Yeah.
She's been racing, she was in the Aspen round, then the Whistler round, as well as the Mount St. Anne World Cup right before that. So she has been going back to back to back for the last month. So maybe a little bit of fatigue and feeling a little tired here.
Well, it's got to take a toll on you when you're competing as much, and especially look what she's done. Her workload for the last few days out here in Whistler has been an amazing one. So she's been at it big time since she got here to Whistler, making things happen and trying to get up there in the top mix. 4:28 and counting for her. Coming around the turn, going to approach the GLC drop right here. Set that one down and kind of across the top for Miranda Miller. She's going to check in. That's going to be a 4:38, 4.6 top 10, 8th place for Miranda Miller.
The stage is starting to get set here, Brad. We have 3 more women left in our pro division here. 3 more women to see if they can try and knock off our #1 spot right now.
And we look at Miranda Miller, who was first in the Garbo DH. Now we got Tracy Hanna, who's going to be coming down. Tracy Hanna was second in the Garbo DH. Now, how's fatigue going to play for her right now, do you think, Tristan?
I mean, back-to-back hot days. She is on a downhill bike. Again, that could be the advantage for her here. But it just depends on how much she has left in the tank. If she gave it all yesterday, then you got to think maybe going to feel a little sluggish here, as well as the heat. But this girl's from Australia, so that's not really going to be an issue for her there. Which you look at all the Canadians that are in the top, top 10 right there, but specifically the top 5. They're probably not used to these hot days. We haven't had that warm of a summer here. Tracy coming in there, styling it out. She's been putting in runs with her brother during the week, but also just doing her own thing. Okay, we've got a real close time right now. Only 1 second back, and she's going to be able to claw this out here through the rock section. Looking like she's staying off the brakes there and really flowing those corners. Now it's just a matter of navigating through the last couple jumps here. If she's able to scrub them or squash them, stay nice and low, staying out of the braking bumps, so she's staying to the inside there. One more jump. Now it's really all about putting down the power. And she's standing up. She's grinding away. She comes across the flat, so we're going to start to see her come into view here for the final GLC drop. The time is looking good right now.
Oh, look at this right now. She sets down the landing gear, pedaling across. The time for her. Tracy Hanna, has she done it? Yes, 4:26.62. First place for Tracy Hanna. Nicely done right there. Second at the Garbo DH, and right now she's sitting on the top spot.
Yeah, seeing the downhill bike to the advantage there through that rock garden at the very end, Brad. She was carrying the mail, hauling butt through there. Got to feel good about that after the Garbo DH yesterday, and now you come down, you're in the hot seat. There's only 2 more women up at the top of the track.
Well, she was 4th last year, so she did not get on the podium last year. 3rd the year before in 2014 for her. So she has never won this thing. So this would be a big win for Tracy Hanna if she could win the Fox Air DH. Taking it back upstairs now. Manon Carpenter on course.
Yep, she got 5th in Garbo yesterday. So again, we keep touching on that. But again, back-to-back races, and especially a race that's over 13 minutes yesterday, and then a race that is so physically intensive here today. Manon Carpenter there with the world champ stripes on the jersey.
This is her chance. She knows Jill Kittner is behind her. She needs to put it together here on this one.
Yeah, normally the kind of rider that really excels at the steep technical tracks here. This is a different beast, but she's still really close time-wise here. Yeah. Only about 1.5 seconds back. You can see the momentum she's carrying through those huge holes. Those things are like knee-deep at least, Brad, there. Everybody getting the braking bumps through that section. So looking smooth, she's getting on the gas right now.
4:02 and counting. She's trying to beat the 4:26.62. That's what Tracy Hanna just put down. Maya Verbeek has been pushed to 2nd. Casey Brown is pushed to 3rd now.
She's standing up. She's looking still fresh across here. Taking a little bit of a pause. She's going to come into view here, Whistler. What is she going to do?
Oh, here we go, down the GLC. Can she keep it going? Looks like she's not going to challenge that top spot for Tracy Hanna, but where's she going to check in? Into 3rd place, 4:29.89. Tracy Hanna dodging a bullet, and she'll remain the top spot right now. 1 more to go. Jill Kittner coming up We'll take a look at your queen standings here when we get an opportunity. There's your look at it right now. Jill Kittner, 890 total points. Casey Brown in that second spot. Tracy Hanna in third. Can Jill Kittner keep it up? This is a big one. Jill Kittner going for the four-peat today. She's won it back to back to back on the air DH. Can she continue the dominance? There's a look at it right there. Jill Kittner.
She's got the sleeves rolled up, and she knows it's her turn right now. It's time to go to work. It's time to earn that paycheck. She's been working hard all year long, down in the PNW there, riding those trails. And let's see what she's got for bike here. So looking like she's opting for the trail bike. So you got to think if it's the back-to-back champ, if that's what she's running, that's what she's going to be using here.
Right, yeah.
And here we go. We see her styling it out over that table. Now this is into the rough rock section here. This is where the trail bike will be a slight disadvantage. But look at that. She is smashing the split time right there. Almost 5 seconds up.
Oh, man, are you kidding me? Jill Kittner on a flyer right now.
This is her trail. This is her office, and she is putting in work today. And she is schooling the competition. We'll see if she's going to be able to even extend that time even more before the finish line here. Finding Tranny on that final jump. Now just up on the pedals. Making work happening here. Look at this time, Brad. Look at this time as she is coming in right now.
Check the time for Jill Kittner, 4:17. Are you kidding me? Jill Kittner for the four-peat. Has she done it? Yes, she has. The four-peat belongs to Jill Kittner. She has won it back to back to back to back on the air DH. Congratulations are in order for Jill Kittner and extending the lead on the Queen of Crankworx.
You can see there she was putting in work, Brad, losing a little bit on that final sector, but really making things happen there. 4 in a row.
4 in a row. Let's check in with Hannah Bernard, standing by with our 4-time winner. Killing it, Hannah.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, I'm here with the gold medalist in the Fox Air DH. 4 years, 4 gold medals. Jill, how does it feel to take that 4th gold medal in Fox Air DH?
It feels incredible. I was just smiling in the gate. I like this trail so much and know every little inch and rock and cranny and everything, so it feels really good to like execute and put it together and get a win.
Can you walk us through the gold medal run? What did you say to yourself before you came down?
Try not to overshoot everything, kind of. I mean, this is the first year I've done a trail bike, and definitely rolls pretty quick, but it's definitely kind of sketchy in some other bits, so it's a nice little balance.
This extends your lead for the Queen of Crankworx title. Was that some of the motivation that you needed to come in and really dominate here today?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've got a plan for the week, and I just try and rest when I can and race when I can, and lots to do here, so.
You're a busy lady. You're gold medalist in the Fox Air DH, Jill Kittner. Guys, back up to you.
Oh, man, that's a feel-good story. Congratulations, and that is her 6th Air DH podium for her, but going back to back to back to back right there. There you go, 4:22.74, that top spot. Tracy Hanna's going to settle for that second spot. Maya Verbeek, who had the lead for a long time in that 3rd spot. Well, if you like what you just saw with the ladies, well, the dudes are getting fired up, and they're coming your way next. Don't go anywhere. It's your Fox Air DH Day 6 here at Crankworx.
20,000 trails in your pocket. Trailforks. Download the free app now.
Crankworx Whistler, brought to you by SRAM, the power of bicycles. And brought to you by Kokanee, Glacier Fresh Beer. It's the beer out here. And by Jeep. Test drive a new Jeep today.
All right, stand by gold. All right, bring us through Brad and
I'll tell you what a day we have seen so far here, Tristan Merrick. I mean, this is it. Also brings us to one of my favorite times. I think it's one of yours too as well.
Yeah, it's something I enjoy doing. It's a bit of a challenge in each and every time that I have to come up with what is our big number of the day.
Today is the big number. And what are the big numbers, Tristan? Let's talk about it.
Well, big numbers. The first number we're going to start off with is 35, and that stands for how many jumps there is. It used
That's
to
a
actually
lot.
be a little bit more, but they've kind of cut things down, redone the sections. 3 is the secondary number, and that's how many drops there is.
Three drops.
You've got the first drop in right away off the wooden ramp. You got the infamous A-line rock drop, and then you have the GLC drop at the very bottom.
And then third number?
And the third number is the time that has been the fastest ever down there. Obviously, the track is ever evolving, but 4:07.70 was the fastest time ever set, and that was set last year.
Wow, so those are the big numbers. Keep those in your head as you're watching the men's race coming up for you. The men are on the way for you next. Don't go anywhere. And welcome everybody out here at Fox Air DH, keeping things going here. Steve Smith Legacy Foundation has been set up, and Steve's family has set up a legacy fund intended to assist talented young athletes to reach their potential. And a couple things have been done. I'll tell you what, we all miss that man right there for sure. Long live Chainsaw. The defending champ from the Air DH. And you can please join us in the support to Steve Smith's memories and go to www.longlivechainsaw.com or post your memories and do that. Your inspiration tag with the hashtag LongLiveChainsaw. That's www.longlivechainsaw.com and post your memories with the hashtag LongLiveChainsaw. A man that we definitely miss 100%. Every single one of us out here know that he is staring down at us right now and smiling from above. Speaking of smiles from above, we're getting it out here from all the people hanging out here. Tristan Merrick, Brad J, high above the GLC, bringing the action of the Fox Air DH to you. Congratulations to Jill Kidner. She's completed the four-peat. She's got to feel pretty good, Tristan.
I mean, the week started off pretty strong for her. Now I think she's kind of just setting the tone of, you know, I'm after that queen title. I'm going to make that title happen, and I know she's very detailed with making that plans happen.
Well, we look at this 2015 Fox Air DH saw the fastest time, 4:07.70. Who's going to challenge that? Like Bruni, Sam Blankensop, Mechanic, Connor Ferron, Remy Therion, but we've already seen that time been beat, haven't we?
We have. We've seen Harry Heath actually beat that along with Bryn Atkinson. So, again, the trail gets refined year after year. But we've put up here our top 5 of who we think possibly could do it. You know, I mean, you can pick Lake Bruni, world champion there. Sam Blankensop, currently leading the points. Mick Hanna, who's won it before. It's anybody's guess.
There's a look at Stacy Kohut right there. I had the pleasure for many years announcing side by side with him. As Stacy drops in right now. His best time ever here on A-Line at 5.50. So 5.50 is what he is looking to beat here. He's a guy who spends it. I mean, he's raced every single A-Line. I was talking to him the other day. He's like, I've raced every single A-Line all the way back to 2004. So if one guy knows that course, you got to think that Stacy Kohut does.
He's consistent with it, and it's good to see him out here charging all day long. He's always a friendly guy on the lift line. Always ready to talk shop of what's going on in the World Cups, who's winning races, who's, you know, industry gossip and stuff. So it's good to see him out here racing as always. And
he's just like a little kid. He's just so excited all the time. And some people you'd think that maybe that when Crankworx comes to town wants to back away from it, but not the way Stacy Kohut is. He's all about it right here. And he's been in every single A-Line. You see him getting in those strokes right there. Trying to keep that speed going, trying to beat a 5.50.
Some people get burnt out with the bike park, but not this guy. This guy is fresh as ever, always stoked to be up there. And like you said, sometimes people just, you know, get away from the Whistler Bike Park during Crankworx, so they put the bike away just to chill and watch all the activities. No,
Sure.
this guy's out there first thing in the morning. If they're opening the lift line early, he's out there doing laps.
That's Stacy for you, 100%. And we see him come into view here pretty soon.
Styling it out over
Nice.
the tunnel jump right there. Again, he's got things dialed here. I can only imagine how many laps he's probably put down on this trail over the years.
Well, his latest edit has got 13.1 million views. So Red Bull has been following him around the whole time out here at Whistler Crankworx. Here he comes right now, Stacy Kohut. He's going to be sending it right down the GLC. The time in for him. Look at this. I think he's going to do his all-time best. Stacy Kohut, yes, he has done it. 5:46.33. He has beat his best time ever. Give it up for Stacy Kohut right there. That's some solid stuff.
Smashing that time there, Brad.
Wow.
Look at him. He is fired up on that personal best ever going down the trail there.
Well, let's check in with Hannah Bernard standing by Stacy Kohut after he just crushed his fastest time. Hannah.
Yes, I'm standing beside a very, very ecstatic Stacy Kohut, a legend here in Whistler. Talk to me about how you feel about beating your personal best.
All day I've been looking pretty and feeling gritty, Hannah, and I wanted that one bad. I had a film crew follow me around for the last 3 days, and I wanted to put a show on for everybody. Come on, Whistler, make some noise!
And you surely did that. You've raced A-Line in all 13 years of Fox Air DH. What does this trail mean to you?
It means a lot. It's one of those trails that I was able to just jump right in. The mountain biking community was more than happy to have me in this race, and 14 years later, I'm still laying it down every year. So thanks to all the teams, thanks to all my sponsors, all my friends, family, thanks to you and all the crew, and thanks to the fans. Thank you, guys.
Stacy Kohut, a local legend here in Whistler. Congratulations.
Indeed, a local legend right there. Congratulations, Stacy. I know that when I was talking to him the other day, he was so hyped up on trying to beat his personal best time that he said he was going to work so hard, especially since Red Bull was following around, and he did just that. So
he made it happen, Brad.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say he made it look easy, but he definitely, it wasn't like a close time there. He definitely carved out more than a few seconds ahead of his goal. So great to see him make that happen, especially with the challenging conditions right now. I could only imagine what he does in perfect trail conditions. And looking like we got Remy Metallier, the French-born rider here, cruising down. If you ever go on Pink Bike, you've definitely seen this guy's edit. He will huck anything within the bike park. Looking a little ragged right there, trying to make up some time. He was back about 7 or so seconds at the split. Again, Harry Heath in the lead right now. Brent Atkinson second. Graham Mudd in third. That's your 1, 2, 3. But Remy here trying to make up some time. Trying to get on those pedals as he's coming down. Again, like we say, it's not an easy race here. Extremely difficult to squash all these jumps.
Well, here's Remy right now down the GLC. The time going to check in for him. Looks like we're going to see a 4:12.92. So Remy will settle for 7th place right now. But a lot of riders still to come. Now we see Harry Heath, who had the best time, 4:05.01, but he ran earlier in the day. Why wouldn't he be running towards the end?
Well, we split up the category there, Brad, just for our webcast here and our broadcast, and making sure that we're able to fit everybody. And you can see Remy there running a slick tire on the rear, so a lot of riders changing things up. Now we've got Bas van Steenbergen. He's up top. It's his turn to make things happen. He's on the trail bike. This guy hucks some ridiculous lines in the bike park. He is doing things that nobody has done yet in a league of his own.
Ended up 4th in the Cliff Bar dual speed and style, competing against his brother. So here's Bas van Steenbergen now doing his thing down A-line.
Again, the brother's extremely stylish. He's getting pretty high on the berm there, trying to get out of the hole. So finding the limit of the course. And again, opting for the trail bike. We saw Remy was running a slick tire, and that is how you're kind of squashing the jump right there. It takes a lot of physical effort to do that. But as we've seen through the last part of the track here, okay, he's up. He is up by almost 2.5 seconds. But this is where having a trail bike is a slight disadvantage through these big braking bumps. You can't get out of those holes. You're right in those, and you just got to hold on and grit it. But he's up right now on Harry's time. Is he going to be able to keep that going into the later stages of the track here?
That's the key right now. He just got to hold it together and keep that speed flowing. What Bas is doing the best, 3:45 and counting as he makes his way down. This will be, you'll see the left-hand turn right here and he'll approach the GLC. Here's a look at it right now. Look at the time. 3:58. Can he do it? Bas van Steenbergen getting in those extra pedal strokes. What's the time? 4:04:02 into the top spot for Bas, number 1.
Absolutely smashing it there, Brad, using the trail bike to its full advantage on the way down.
And let's send it down right now to Hannah standing by with Bas. Hannah?
All right, Bas van Steenbergen throwing it down for Fox. We talked earlier, you said you wanted a top 10 finish. How confident are you right now with your race?
I don't know, there's a lot of fast guys still up there. I gave my all, so we'll see.
Did you feel good?
Yeah, I felt pretty good for sure.
Awesome. Well, you're currently sitting in the top spot. Bas van Steenbergen, guys. We've got lots more guys coming down. Back up to you.
He's a realist. He knows who's behind him. He knows what's going on. 4:04:02. That's going to be his best time for Stevesberger right there, holding that one down. Now we go check it. Adrian Larone next up, and he's had the lead for the King of Crankworx, but he has been dispatched from that, so a good finish here would help his cause.
So seeing some good style there, kind of doing things a little bit different on that slight step down. Push the front wheel of the bike down, nose manual, and then got the back tire back down to get the pedal strokes into that first jump right underneath the chairlift there. But Adrian's got to make things happen here today. He's got to be in the top 10 if he wants to get some points, and he needs to finish ahead of Sam Blenkinsop if he wants to get that overall lead back coming into the split. So 3.22 back.
That's a lot to make up, man, when you're looking at 3 seconds right there. But what's on the line is King of Crankworx, so he needs a good finish. You bring the point up. You need a top 10 finish to get points for King.
Yeah, I mean, that's all about it. And that was what we saw in the dual speed and style the other day. He wasn't in the top 10, so he wasn't making any bank with the points lead there. So that's why he stayed stationary. And Blenkinsop was putting in work in the other events. But Adrian, you've got to think he's got to be more than motivated. The French rider there, very passionate about his racing as he's coming down into the GLC drop, rounding things out.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to challenge the top time, but let's see where he checks in. Adrian Larone trying to stay in that top 10 for the battle for King. 4:07:40, fourth place for Adrian Larone. So I'll tell you what, we talk about the King of Crankworx, and Bernard Kerr's the defending king. He's not going to be able to repeat, but guys that can make it happen. Sam Blenkinsop at the top right now, Tristan.
Yeah, he's sitting out front, and he's looking comfortable there. Again, really, it's Adrian Larone. It's up to him. Thomas Slavik still in contention a little bit there, but there's more events that cater Sam Blenkinsop than anybody else right now.
And let's take our attention back up top. That's Mitch Ropalato. Rope-a-dope right there. Affectionately named that from Stacy Kohut back in the day.
Another one of our guys on a trail bike is here as well here, Brad. And he's had a few good results in the past. He's gotten 2 fifths before in 2012 and 2013. I saw him, though. I was walking through the village the other day, and he was hanging out in the ladies' hair salon getting a little bit of bleach work done. So he's got...
oh, yeah, I did hear this. Okay.
He was paying very good money to get his hair stylized the other day. But again, this guy oozes talent on the way down while he's riding his bike. He makes things look so smooth, so easy. We'll have to see what kind of style he's got over the jump there. So squashing that jump, you can see kind of getting upright, pushing down while he's in the air. Let's see what the split has for us here. He's now coming down, so 2.65 back. This is a guy, though, he can let go of the brakes and just really let the bike go through here.
We saw Adrian Larone about that same amount of time back, and he ended up in fourth. But I think Mitch Ropalato could probably even make up more time than that.
No, but Mitch is so talented. I mean, this is a guy that kind of wasn't really feeling the Enduro World Series and then goes out to Aspen, does one of them, claims he's going to get a top 3 on one of the stages and goes out and does it. So he's so talented when it comes to that, and it's just a matter of him putting his mind to the task.
Just call your shot. Here we go. Mitch Ropalato right now. He's past the 4-minute mark. Airing it down the GLC. The time in for Mitch Ropalato. Rope-a-dope, a 4:06.95 into fourth place for Mitch Ropalato.
Definitely will be seeing him tomorrow night at that RockShox Ultimate Pump Track Challenge. He will be laying it down on that new track again, base 2 on Blackcomb. You can catch the gondola up there for free from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., but here's our current leaderboard right now.
And there it is, Bas van Steenbergen holding it down, 4:04. Harry Heath, 0.99 off that top time of Bas. Bryn Atkinson in the mix right there in third for the Aussie. And then you got Mitch Ropalato in fourth. Adrian Larone now bumped down to fifth. Chris Kovarik now going to be coming up next, and Chris has been doing it for a long time. He's got 3 podiums on the air DH. Second back in 2014, but a strong finish on Garbo for him just the other day in 8th place. Here goes Chris now.
Man running the flat pedal thunder there. Surprised to, good to see him out here today. He was on the winning team last night for Dirt Diaries, Shred Till You're Dead. I'm sure he might be feeling a little bit of effects of celebrating the win here today, but always a true competitor, always bringing 100% A game out there.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago that he grabbed that silver medal, just think a couple of years ago in the air DH, so he's capable of a podium today.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if he could definitely get into that top 10. Definitely looking for a podium, though, is going to be a little difficult. You can see there, 7 and a bit seconds back.
Good line, though, through there.
But this is where the downhill bike shines. He can just let go of the bike there, just go straight through the braking bumps because it's so tight, there's no way to get around them.
Yeah, he's going to be off that top time, though, for Chris. 3:45 and counting right now.
Going to the inside, finding the smooth track. You can see all the braking bumps out in the middle of the track there, so that's why the riders cutting everything where they can, trying to stay out of the hole, trying to stay out of the braking bumps to keep their momentum going.
Yeah, line choice is paramount when it comes down to it. Here we go, 4:03. Chris Crankworx going to come down the GLC. Where is he going to end up in the mix? Can he land in that top 10? The time in for Chris, that's going to check in with a 4:11.64. Yeah, he's in the top 10, 7th place for Chris Crankworx right there, getting it done.
Handling some business here.
Let's take a look at our Crankworx poll.
Beautiful backdrop there, another sunny day.
Hey, there's Flying Brian right there.
And this is a guy that wouldn't be, you know, he's getting older, but he is just as fast as ever, and I almost feel like he's a little bit more motivated nowadays than ever. Coming out of the start gate there, looking like he's putting down some power right away. You know, this guy is fitter than most dudes out there.
He's been doing, I mean, 5 wins in a row. That's something that has not been passed up at all at Crankworx competition. 5 wins in a row in the air DH from 2006 all the way to 2010. He was untouchable.
He had the cheat sheet for that trail. He knew what to do no matter what the conditions. And making his way down.
This is where we would normally see him. I don't know why we're not seeing him right now. I'm wondering if there's a problem for Flying Brian Lopes. Yeah, we're not seeing him right now. This is where he normally would be out here by that.
Yeah, the timing should be that we see him.
Bass kind of checking out. He knows that Lopes is a guy that can end up on the podium. I mean, you don't do it 5 in a row like Lopes did from 06 to 2010. But right now, I think it's going to be out of reach because we're not seeing him, so something went wrong.
Yeah, not entirely too sure. Hopefully nothing too much up there. Again, the big holes and stuff like that, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to start to see some flat tires out of a few competitors here.
Wait, we're just getting some inside news right now that Lopes has a flat, so he is flatted.
Oh, there it is. Flat.
Yeah. Well, that is a bummer for your 5-time winner of your air DH. That's got to be, I mean, no pun intended, deflating for him right there when he's dealing with this right now. Tough break for him. Well, let's take our attention to our next rider. Looks like we got Finn Isles now.
Seeing him drop in. So he's still a junior by standards there, but he raced his first elite race here at Crankworx yesterday, getting 9th in Garbo. So again, this kid is growing an inch every week here, Brad, and it's great to see him really developing as the year has gone on. He's leading the Junior World Cup overall right now, running that 99 again in his rookie season. And he knows his trail. This is the trail that has groomed him throughout the years, born and raised here. Okay, there we go, 9.5 seconds back, but he'll be able to let off the brakes through this section of the trail here. See if he can make up a little bit of time.
Now, if he knows the trail so much, he's seen that as back 9 seconds. What do you think the deal is there, Tristan?
I'm not too sure. You know, everything can be a little bit different in terms of he's competing against the big boys here, right? And he's still a junior, so he's still developing, he's still growing. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to grow to that frame size before the end of the season, the way things are going.
So here we go. Finn Isles, not going to be his day to crack that top 5. Let's see where he ends up for Finn Isles. Checking in his time of 4:12.99, so 12th place, top 15 for Finn Isles.
Shaking his head there a little bit. You know, he's probably not too satisfied with that.
There's the man to beat right there, Bas van Steenbergen. Right there, the uncomfortable position of being in that #1 spot, waiting for everyone else to come down and see if it ends up. And there's Mitch Ropolato's hair is looking good, Mitch. That's a, it's a bleach. It's almost the same color as Bass's hair. They could be brothers. Maybe there's 3 Van Steenbergens.
Yeah, there can only be 2 of those guys. There can only be 2 of those guys.
So we should be taking a look at Martin Mays, should be our next rider. There he is right there, plate number 25, Martin Mays.
So Martin on the downhill bike. It's funny, he doesn't get on this thing as much as he would like to be, but when he gets on it, he has done extremely well. There we go. That is how you scrub right there. So Martin, a young kid, only 19 years old now. I keep thinking, you know, we've seen him for so many years with the Enduro World Series and competing at Crankworx. I mean, we saw him last year dominating that dual slalom until he had a little crash, but still ended up on the podium. I'm excited to see what goes on here today. This is a guy that has been really, really on fire this year at the Enduro World Series. 2 seconds, a 4th, and a 5th, along with a broken wrist. So finding some good flow on the way down. Let's see what the split says here. Okay, 15 and a bit seconds back. So you can tell he's having a little bit of fun on the way down. Maybe not trying to go for the win here, but using it as a little bit of training. And got some fans on the side of the track there. Shout out to them.
And here he goes, Martin Mays. You see that ticking away now, going to be approaching that 4-minute mark for him, so he's going to be out of contention for the top 5 or even the top 3 at this point.
Again, expecting really, really tight times as we start to get down here on this track. Every little breaking point starts to make a huge difference where you can analyze it to that degree. But here we go, Martin Mays rounding things out, having fun on his downhill bike here today, hucking off the GLC drop there.
And crossing the line, the time in for Martin Mays. That's going to be a 4:21.94 for him.
Martin throwing the thumbs up there, having a blast with that, going and checking in with everybody else. It's good just to see these riders relaxing a little bit, Brad, from their normal Enduro World Series schedule.
Let's take a look at how things are stacking up right now for your 3-2-1. There you go. Bryn Atkinson is doing it right in the right way. 2.58 off the top time. You got Harry Heath in second, and Bas van Steenbergen holding down the top time of a 4:04.02. That's Slavic right there, it looks like. Yeah, Thomas Slavic now ready to go.
This is the guy that won the dual speed and style down in Rotorua at the start of the year. That's why he's got so many points in the overall for the King of Crankworx. Again, this is a guy who used to be a 4-cross racer. He knows how to go quick. He knows how to squash jumps. You see he's got a trail bike there, but he's also got a coil rear shock on there. So that's going to soak up a bunch of the big hits, be able to get through the holes. Let's see what he's got here as he's coming up to the splits. He's staying fresh. He's pedaling lots here. Let's see. Okay, 8 seconds back, so not necessarily in touch with it. Would have expected a little bit more, especially sitting in that 3rd spot overall right now. You'd think he'd be trying to get as many points as he could, but 8 seconds back, that's definitely a bit of a margin on the way down.
Yeah, not expecting that out of Slavic. Thought he'd have a better time on that one. And Bas van Steenbergen, you look at him, he's still holding down that #1 spot, and that's 3 seconds faster than last year. Stevie Smith's time. As we look at Slavic making his way down, Jared Graves, Matt Walker, Jack Moyer all coming up. And Thomas down on the GLC. And his time, where does that put him with the rest? 4:12.94, top 12 for Slavic.
No, he's on a DH bike there. Must have missed the forks at the top. So running the big bike on the way down. Trying to use that to his advantage.
But not enough to get him up in that top 10 or even that top 5. Remember, you want those points. And with Slavic outside the top 10, he will receive no points for King of Crankworx on this one. So an unfortunate situation right there, but an unfortunate situation on the GLC. Let's check in with Hannah Bernard. She's standing down in the mix right now. Hannah, what's going on, Hannah?
I'm just hanging out with the guy in the hot seat right now. Bas, we chatted just not too long ago, and you said you had a lot more guys coming down, but as they start to trickle down, do you feel a little bit more comfortable here?
A little bit. You never know. Everyone's still pretty quick out there, and I don't want to get too comfortable, so we'll see.
All right, well, talk to me about the race coming down and the conditions of the course. What was the key to this course with the conditions here today?
I think just because it was so blown out, you want to maintain your speed good through the corners and obviously get all your pedals in and, I don't know, not give up because I didn't really feel like pedaling at the bottom.
All righty. Well, I might be talking to you again if you remain in this top spot. Bas van Steenbergen, currently sitting in the top spot, guys. Back up to you.
I like seeing it. I like seeing him in that top spot right there.
He's a realist, Brad.
Yeah.
He's a realist.
He's the realist. He knows. He knows the names that are behind him right now.
I didn't really want to pedal at the bottom, but obviously he did some pedaling if he's ahead of Harry Heath and Bryn Atkinson, Mitchell Pilato, Adrian Larone. That's your top 5 right there. So Larone's still sitting in a points position. That's definitely a good thing right now, but we're still got a stack of guys to come down here, and that could knock them down a few positions.
And you look at the guys that have been under the 407 mark, which was Stevie Smith's time last year. So we're seeing a lot more. 1, 2, 3, 4 under that 407.
Beautiful day out there right now.
Yeah.
Packed in the village.
Well, we had talked earlier in the Crankworx poll, would that time be beat? And we were talking about it a lot, thinking that possibly maybe it wouldn't get beat. But we've already seen 1, 2, 3, 4 people actually. 4 riders have beat that, from Mitch Ropalato, Bryn Atkinson, Harry Heath, and Bass have all eclipsed that 407 from last year. There's a look at Matt Walker. Matt Walker taking off. We'll see what Matt Walker can do. He's trying to beat a 404.02. Bas van Steenbergen holding on to that one.
So Matt on the trail bike right there, squashing that first jump. This was our rider that was leading the King of Crankworx points lead after Rotorua. He had a breakout ride down there, scoring points in each and every contest that he won in, and things were looking really good. You're almost like, wow, okay, we're in New Zealand. Kiwi rider, what's he going to do throughout the rest of the year? And then unfortunately, a bit of bad luck struck there, breaking hands and having issues with that. But good to see him back here, healthy, railing things out. Let's see what he's got here. Is he coming up to the split? Is he in touch with what's going on? We're down in the lower section here again. It's just huge braking bumps in there, Brad. Oh, almost getting kicked out sideways there. And it becomes a bit of a game. Do you stay off the brakes? There's a slight little chicane in there, but you could hit one of those huge potholes and it could just throw you sideways at any minute. And Matt Walker squashing that jump right there. Now coming down into the bottom part of the track here.
Okay, this is a decent time right now. 3:53 and counting for Matt Walker. He takes that left. Now he's going to approach the GLC drop here. Still got 5 seconds to try and knock this out. He lands it solid. Here we go. Matt Walker is going to be a top 5 finish for him. 4:06.91. Yes, it is. 4th place for Matt Walker, the Kiwi, in a top 5 position. And another time beating the fastest time from last year. Stevie Smith, Matt Walker doing it right there. See Atkinson 3rd. He's 2nd. Van Steenbergen the number 1 spot.
Again, looking at that top 5, it's the who's who up there right now. Well, having a look, maybe checking out what do we got here. Oh, okay, so Matt Walker having some mechanical issues there, looking like maybe things are jammed up on his bike.
All right, well, let's take a look. I think we got plate number 20 locked and loaded. Jack Moyer. There it is right there.
This guy's been, it's good to see him healthy this year, Brad, because he's been putting in good results.
Yeah,
fourth in Garbo.
Yeah, solid finish in Garbo. Let's see what he's got here. He's trying to beat that 404.02 for first, or to try and beat a 406.60 for that 3rd spot, where Bryn Atkinson is holding that one down.
As well, he got 3rd in Leger again. Tackling, we keep talking about that track, but I feel like we'll be talking about that track for years to come, of just how muddy, rutted, and out of control it was. He tamed that for a podium.
Understatement.
Again, but completely different here today. It's dry, it's dusty. You almost got to think maybe slightly like the Australian conditions. So about 8.5 seconds back. Not best right now. See if he's able to claw back some time through the later sections of the track here.
Just trying to see where he can make up that time right now. 3:46 and going right there.
The thing that I always love about A-Line is when you see all the footage after the race, and especially in the middle part of the track, there's the 2-pack in there of jumps, and there is just hordes and hordes of fans yelling, screaming, taunting, giving the silent treatment.
I like the taunting part too.
We've seen the people mooning the riders as they go down. So Jack Moore as he's coming down across the line. Good enough for a 10th position right there.
4:11, 9:7, 10th place. That's probably not going to hold up for him right there in a top 10 finish.
Still, though, strong result for him here today. Again, especially after yesterday, probably feeling a little bit fatigued. You got to think that's probably part of what's going on. And maybe he was out there enjoying himself with some of the other Van Zak guys with Eddie Masters and their Dirt Diaries win.
I had him on my fantasy team right there. That one hurt me just a bit right there. We'll take it up top. Here we go. Alex Marine now.
So he's got himself the trail bike, riding the Giant Rain right there. So going with the single crown. So we've heard from a lot of riders, it's good, but it definitely feels sketchy on the way down. You got to commit 100%. And with this track, there's nowhere to really relax. You have to be sprinting every section out of the corners, on the landings of the jumps, the entire way down the track if you want to get up into a top position there today.
Well, for the Spanish rider, Alex Marine, that's what he's trying to do right now. Let's see where he is.
Good textbook squashing style there. Finding rhythm, there's little doubles in that. 3.2 back, this is a good time. This is really a good time here if he's able to make it through this section, keeping his momentum. Again, these two corners, it's all rock on the inside of that, all rock on the other side of that as well. So the left, right, extremely difficult. You can't inside it. Is he going to be able to keep his momentum going here? Finding the backside of that transition right there. Putting the rear wheel down.
This looks good for top 5, that's for sure. Can he keep it going? That's the key here. Alex Marine, here we go. He's going to make the turn here. This will set him up for the GLC drop. Makes it around there. It's going to line things up. 4 minutes and counting down the GLC. Can he get in that top 5? Alex Marine checking in. What's going to be the time for him? 4:06.93. Top 5 for Alex with that one right there. Well, we got a bunch of riders left out there, and we look at our core right now, and you can see where some of these riders are.
Yeah, you can see that Jack Redding's up on the hillside there. Blenkinsop, Kerr, as well as everybody else hanging out up top. They're just chilling up there, probably getting warmed up. Again, they're not coming into this race course completely cold here. You're spinning around, getting those legs going, so you got the blood flowing, so you're ready to really hit it on the way down.
So let's take a look at our next rider. I think we got Jack Reading should be, yep, there we go. Plate number 18, Jack Reading now ready to see what he can do to challenge that top time, the 4:04.02. That's what he's trying to beat. Bas van Steenbergen on top.
Definitely had it look like he maybe skipped a chain there or something out of the gate. Kind of a little slip up there, now trying to get going again. He's telling me yesterday in Garbanzo he actually just blew right off the trail. So it's the reason why he was a little bit further back, because I had him as a dark horse. I know he's podium before. I was like, man, this is going to be the guy. He actually had to hike back up on the trail because he went out on one of the markers there. So he didn't get disqualified or anything like that, and that's what dropped him back into a top 15 position. Jack here, what's he got coming in the split?
Ooh,
okay.
9. And that might be due to, like you said, slipping a pedal or slipping a chain link up top. What happened there?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, this isn't the kind of trail that would necessarily favor him. He's always done very well on the World Cups when it's steep, extremely rough. Val de Sol, Mount St. Anne, that's where he just came off a career best, which was a top 20. Squash and jumps, not necessarily his thing, but he used to live here back in the day, and it's good to see him out here after a bit of a hiatus for the last few years. He's been focusing on other things. Again, running the race team himself there. He's a team manager for that. And doing that, running it with a couple of guys.
And his time, what's it going to be for Jack? He's going to check in with a 4:13.75, top 20 for Jack Reading from Great Britain right there, plate 18. But I'll tell you, our next rider that we really need to pay attention to is going to be Sam Blenkinsop, the next guy that we want to see. Sam Blenkinsop has been coming out strong this year in the Whistler, 2nd, the Garbo, 7th in the Enduro. Well, let's take a look at our leaderboard so far. Right there. That is, you see that Matt Walker in that 3rd spot. Blanky, once he gets a number here assigned to him, then he'll know where he stands. Adrian Larone has the lead right now.
This is big. This is our danger man right here, Brad. This is a reason to get excited.
Well, look, you got Adrian Larone who's in 7th, so if he bumps down 3 more positions, he'll be out of the points. So it's all about Blanky right now. Blanky, 2 podiums, 2nd last year in 2015, but he's been on fire this year. 2nd at the Garbo, 7th the Enduro. Here's Blanky.
Huge scrub off that first jump. He's even got the plate set up all arrow there, curled in on itself, almost creating some downforce on him there. But Blankensop looking great right now. What's he got? We're coming into our split. Is he going to be in touch with time? 2 and a bit seconds back. This is manageable. This is where he could make up some time here. Yes, he's on a trail bike, but we know his commitment is 100% through this. Rounding out those corners.
Well, he needs to finish above Adrian Larone. That's one thing he's got to do. Adrian Larone in that 7th spot. This is for the battle for King. If Blanky can do that, he'd increase his chances of coming away with the big win for King of Crankworx.
Looking good across the flats here, just standing up, hammering, getting down a little bit there, rounding out, using that bank as a berm. What's he got here? He's looking like he's on a pretty darn good time right now.
Rubber side down for Blanky. Here we go. Those last pedal strokes across the time. 4:05.79 for Blanky into 3rd place, and that's also going to put him in the lead for King of Crankworx. Now it's going to bump Adrian Larone down to that 8th spot. So Blanky with another good showing here in Whistler. Let's check in with Hannah Bernard, see if we can get a word with Blanky right now in 3rd. Hannah?
Right, Sam Blankensop, you ended up 2nd in Garbo yesterday, and you are now still in the lead after today for the King of Crankworx title. How good does it feel to have that lead?
It's not going to last very long. Yeah. See what happens.
Very positive. Sam Blankensop currently sitting in the 3rd spot, but 1st spot for the King of Crankworx title. Guys, back up to you.
Yeah, well, that one right there is it's not going to change because he is in 3rd right there, and Adrian Larone, who's challenging him, is Phil Twill getting ready to go.
Yeah, I don't think Sam realized it's for the King of Crankworx, and he's in the lead right now.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
Phil Atwill risking it all on the line right now in the name of getting a bit of sun. I know you're British and you're a bit pasty, but this is not really the best way to go about getting a bit of sun on the legs and the arms there. Doing it on a hardtail as well, which, again, even more questionable in terms of his selection of kit and bicycle there. I'm a little bit caught up for words right now.
Hardtail and boxers, bro. That's how he rolls right there, Phil Twill. Well, like you said, man, he's from Great Britain. He's not used to the sun. He's trying to get a little sun on his body.
You gotta think 4 minutes of sun in this weather when you're that white is maximum exposure. You might be sunburnt by the time he gets down to the bottom there if he doesn't have some sunscreen on.
Well,
this can't be very comfortable on that hardtail right now.
Oh, look at him just holding it together.
I'm glad he's got we've seen lots of people in boxers before, but I'm glad he's got maybe looking like a fresh set of boxers on there versus some of the people we've seen before that are maybe running 2-3-year-olds, which not the kind of underwear you want to be riding down a track.
Yeah, we don't want to see any close calls, man. We don't want to see any sharks in the mix out there. As Phil Twill makes his way down, here we go. All right, well, he's solved the age-old question, boxers or briefs. He's going to elect to kind of combo them up. Somebody get that guy a towel. 4:37.10, 76th place for Phil Twill. All right, well, now we should be looking at Mark Wallace. Anything to get off Phil here for a second. Mark Wallace and Marcelo Gutierrez. Here's Mark Wallace, plate 15.
Mark looking good there. So he's got the trail bike, got himself a fresh Fox kit on there. Very coordinated at the moment. And this guy's done really well at Crankworx in the past. Looking at results, 2nd in the Canadian Open back in 2015. So he's more of a fan of those style of tracks, but we're going to have to see if he's able to make things happen here today. He's been getting stronger and stronger every year that he's been racing again. Only been racing elite for a couple years, so 5 seconds back right now.
Not too bad.
No, not too bad at all. He could claw back a little bit of time here, but we're seeing really small margins between the riders right now. Again, that's the kind of norm for this track. We're not going to see a blowout here by any means. But again, staying down, you can see him doing a little bit of an ET there in the air, keeping the bike going, pedaling away as he comes over the tunnel jump. Now this is where you have to bury yourself. This is the last little bit of commitment. You feel like you got fiberglass in your lungs as you're now coming down towards the GLC. This is Mark Wallace.
Mark Wallace, the Fox rider, down the GLC. Couple more strokes in there, across the line. Is he going to stay in that top 10? Yes, 9th place, 4:08.16 for Fox rider Mark Wallace. Well, Bass Van Steenbergen still dodging them bullets left and right. He's still in the number 1 spot, 4:04.02, the time to beat. Bass Van Steenbergen holding that one down. Harry Heath in 2nd, and Sam Blankensop in the quest for King of Crankworx in 3rd.
I like how the hot seat's kind of half and half there. Bass is getting a bit of sun on the head there. This guy.
Marcelo. Oh, man, this guy indeed. First in the Garbo yesterday. He completed the 4-peat. He's won it back-to-back in the Garbo DH. But let's see what he can do here on A-line. Marcelo Gutierrez, here we go.
So running the trail bike as well. Again, less travel. You got to commit more. Squashing that first jump. Again, we're seeing lots of different styles of how to keep the bike as low as you can to the ground there. So Marcelo, again, yesterday lost his chain on his run. It was near the bottom of the course, though. Down the Fitzsimmons zone, right up above Monkey Hands. Thankfully, it was pretty much steep the whole way down, but he still was able to take the win, compete that 4-peat, and win by 7 seconds. So he's looking smooth through this. What's the split time? I'm going to say, again, commitment down into the bottom part of the track here. The back end kicking out left, right, but looking smooth, lining those up. And you can see the little Corks device on the where the water bottle cage is normally mounted there. That's that black box that's attached to it. That's what's been giving us the data here of where our racers are at on course right now.
This looks pretty good for Marcelo Gutierrez right now. First in the Garbo. Can he keep this winning streak alive? Trying to get up in the top 5. 3:57. He's trying to beat a 4:04. Keep it in mind, Bass is watching this one. Marcelo down the GLC. Couple pedal strokes in. The time in. 4:06.10, 4th place, top 5 for Marcelo Gutierrez. So Bass holding it down right there. The king of the court. But I tell you what a great Crankworx has been for Marcelo. First yesterday in Garbo, and right now, if he could hold on that'd be a top 5 finish out here in your Fox Air DH.
Well, Brad, we've only got 12 more people to go as well, so Bass has just been sitting down there for a little bit right now, and we're working our way through our pro division right as it's happening. So things are looking pretty good. He's still sitting a full second ahead. Nobody's really creeped up on that, getting closer to him here. But next up, we got Rory Cunningham as well. He got 24th in last year's Air DH, 37th in the Enduro World Series earlier this week, as well as 7th in the Canadian Open back in 2015.
So Rory's, he knows what he's got to beat. It's a 4:04.02. Let's see if he can stay in touch with that one for Rory Cunningham here from Great Britain.
So again, he's running his trail bike. That would be the same bike that he raced the other day for the Enduro World Series. So we're seeing a lot of those athletes doubling over it. No, it's not a very specific bike for A-Line here. It's a multi-use bike. And again, as the technology changes, these bikes are getting better and better. You know, 170 mil RockShox Lyric or something on the front of that bike. Okay, 10 seconds back, so not necessarily in touch there with our top time right now. So Bass is going to be able to relax a little bit more. Then there was 11 riders left.
Yeah, but he also knows that Loic Bruni coming up, Connor Farron, Lucas Shaw, Tyrion, Mick Hanna, Greg Williamson, Adam Brayton, the Bulldog, and Bernard Kerr all still to come.
Exactly, lots of riders here. It's good to see, though, Rory, one of those athletes that's more than happy to compete at every event that he can here at Crankworx.
Not trying to save himself, just trying to compete as much as he can. Rory coming down on this one. He's going to cross the line. The time in for Rory Cunningham, that's going to be 4:13.64, 22nd spot. Now let's take a look at how things are stacking up so far with a bunch more riders still to come here, standing in the way of Bass, taking a big win out here in your Fox Air DH. But taking a look at it right now, here's how it's looking. Your top position, Sam Blankensop, number 3, 1.77 off the top. Harry Heath, 0.99 off Bass's time. And Bass with the best time of the day, 4:04.02. Can he hold on to it? Can he take the win here? Well, we got a bunch more riders standing in the way. And it's all coming up at your Fox Air DH, Day 6, Crankworx Whistler.
To be the best, you have to go all in. We're all in, 100% dedicated to one bike. The 12-speed cassette's 10 to 50-tooth spread gives you a 500% gear range. This is Eagle, the all-new generation of one-by drivetrain technology from the company that lives one-by.
For 75 years, Jeep has been a class leader in 4x4 capability, pushing 4x4 fuel economy farther and finding comfort zones in an award-winning interior. They say it's lonely at the top, but finding parking is a breeze.
4x4 today, tomorrow, and never say never.
Jeep Cherokee, with attractive financing offers now available.
Fragile existence, we're walking on thin ice. We take every breath for granted. We strike with divine rights. Pursuit of progress with reckless abandon. The damage left to the next, like toxic hand down. It's only you and you. You're no one's enemy. You try to break the truth. The tangle when we win. It's only you and you. This world will unravel. It's our destiny. Man will destroy himself.
Crankworx Whistler brought to you by Dose.ca, your entertainment fix. And by Kokanee, Glacier Fresh Beer. It's the beer out here. And by Samsung. Live connected with Samsung. Well, things are stacking up now. Looking at the way things are playing out, Bass Van Steenbergen, he's the guy who's doing it in a big way right now with our top time of 4:04:02. We'll take a look at the rest of the field and how they compare. Sam Blankenstop, 1.77 off the top time of Bass. Harry Heath, 0.99 off that time. Bass in the #1 spot, 4:04:02. And looking at top 10 guys still to run out here to come on down. You got to wonder, you know, is it going to be? Could this be the big win? You and I were talking during the commercial, like this would be an absolute huge win for Bass if he's able to take this. But let's take a look at this now. I love this.
Yeah, who wore it best? We've got, I mean, the Whistler Bike Park, you have every type of person out there. So we've got the standard truck stop shirt there. We've got the bear on it versus the muscle shirt, sleeves cut off, riding the trail bike. A little bit of style back and forth.
I like this right here. I'm going with the look on the right here.
You're going, so you like the flannel?
Yeah, I'm down with the flannel on
line?
this one. Yeah.
Well, the one on the left's pretty good there. We got the shorts, tank top on there, riding the bike park. Maybe a little questionable with the XC helmet.
I'm going with the guy on the right here. I'm serious. That's the way to go. That's the proper Fox kit right there.
You sure the T-shirt with the hole, some stains on it isn't really more your style, Brad?
It's not my style.
Okay, so you're the guy on the right there, looking fresh to death with that Fox kit, top to bottom.
That's going to be it right there.
That's going to be it. Well, we'll try and snap a shot of you when you're out riding here to see if you're going to uphold your end of the bargain there.
Indeed. There's Bass right there. Bass doing it all right. 4:04:02.
Rocking that Flex Air gear there. It's the kind of stuff you need to wear on a hot day like today. It needs to breathe well.
Talking about a lot of the other trails here, opposite of A-Line. There's so much to see and do. So many different trails out here to ride. And taking a look at it right there. Trail Forks got you covered, don't they?
They do got you covered. Of course, completely opposite, no joke. There's a trail that has got a little bit of everything except the machine-built stuff. Extremely rugged up there. You got trails like Captain Safety up in that area. You got the no joke triple hump right there. And again, no easy feet up on this. Again, you want to be more of an advanced rider as you're working your way through. Full suspension bike, all your protection. You need all that stuff there. And the riders in this film making things look easy. Big Pete Matthews handling business. He was on the winning team last night from Dirt Diaries. He's no stranger to the terrain up there as he's flown his way down. Again, always a classic there, the upper section of No Joke. This is the Whistler Bike Park team making things look good here in the video. what we're racing today is completely different from that. Again, what we're racing today, machine-built groomed trails, top to bottom. There we go. Got a nice shot of the mountain across the valley there. Not a cloud in the sky over there. Another beautiful day right now. People hanging out on the patio, having some après. And here is our current leaderboard right now. Sam Blinkensop sitting in that third position, 1.77 back. Harry Heath sitting in that second spot. Again, he came down earlier today with that smoking hot time, but the Canadian rider, decked top to bottom in his fox head gear there, sitting in that number 1 position right now with that 404.02. We're going to have to wait and see if that time continues to stand here. As we start working down, we're down into our top 10 of our elite category. As we wait for our next rider to come into view here. Again, solid crowd here today. The riders hanging out. Maxing and relaxing down there, trying to stay in the shade, trying to keep cool. Or maybe you're just appraying up on the GLC right now. It's a good spot to be hanging out. Again, Brenton Atkinson back there in 5th. Marcelo Gutierrez in 4th. Blinkensop in 3rd. Harry Heath in 2nd. And the man of the hour right now, Bas van Steenbergen, sitting in that number 1 position. Again, breaking the fastest time that we've ever had here before. But as we keep talking about, A-Line continues to change and evolve throughout the year, thanks to the trail crew at the Whistler Bike Park. They start making the course run a little quicker. They start changing jumps. All of our riders hanging out at the finish line as they've finished their runs here today. Probably trading horror stories of who overshot which jump the most. Definitely no case in the jumps here today during the race run. Everything is about overshooting and trying not to overshoot as much as you do when you're riding that pace. Again, the track built for when you're riding it, so the jumps are the appropriate size. As soon as you start racing it, that's when you start running out of transition. Well, let's send it down to the 3rd member of our team down there in the corral with Hannah Bernard. Hannah, what's going on, girl?
Thanks very much, Tristan. Well, I felt like me and Sam Blinkensop didn't have a proper chat before, so I'm catching up with him again. So Sam, you got 7th in Enduro on Sunday, 2nd in Garbo yesterday. So how are you feeling fatigue-wise? I got to ask.
Yeah, good. Hopefully I can maybe get in the top 5 or see how it goes in the A-line. But yeah, obviously a little bit bummed how my run went, but it's how it goes. It's been a big week, so yeah.
Better answer than before. Thanks so much for chatting with us again, and we'll talk with you soon. Guys, back up to you.
Well, here we go right now. Laurie Greenland dropping in next. Good to see this young rider. First year in Elite for the World Cup, and he has definitely been making an impact the whole way down. Got 8th earlier this year in Fort William. It's your 2015 Junior World Champ. Coming in 8 and a bit seconds back right now. He's probably been enjoying himself here all week long, just blasting A-line laps with the boys, shredding it out the whole way down. So again, running the trail bike, so you lose a bit of time in that lower section there just due to how rough it is.
You can see the time right there, so he's going to be out of that top 5. Maybe squeak into that top 10 as he makes his way down here right now. Lord Greenland, plate 11, there we go, taking a look right here. This is the left-hand turn that sets you up right over to the GLC. Can he stay in that top 10? Here we go, the time in for Greenland from Great Britain. That's going to be a 4:13, so not going to be able to crack that top 15 or that top 10, so 23rd for Greenland.
That kind of margin yesterday would have got you on the podium at Garbanzo DH, but margins today, you got to keep them down within less than a second if you want to stay up there on that podium, Brad.
Yeah, copy that for sure. Next up, we're going to see Bernard Kerr coming up. He was the defending king of Crankworx, Bernard Kerr. But this year had a little bit of trouble, so he's not going to be able to repeat as a Crankworx king. But let's see how he does here in the Fox Area DH. There's Kerr right there. Sweet $25,000 richer last year from winning King of Crankworx.
I wonder what he spent it on. I mean, if you go off what Instagram says, he's got dirt bikes down in New Zealand and living the good life. So another rider opted for the trail bike, squashing that jump. You know, he's probably looking for a great result here. Got 10th in Garbanzo yesterday, so fatigue probably definitely going to play a little bit of a factor for him here today.
Let's see how he stacks up. Bernard Kerr making his way down here. Still that time to beat Bas van Steenberg, and we've been saying it for a while because he's been holding on to that top spot for some time now with that 4:04:02. That's where Bas has the #1 spot. There's a look at the man right there. Is he holding on? #1. Here comes Kerr now.
Oh, flat tire.
Yep.
This is the bittersweet part of racing here, Brad. Probably opted for a nice lightweight, fast rolling tire there. You get offline a little bit, you hit an errant rock, and it would just slice the sidewall open 100% on that tire and lose all the air, and that would be all she wrote.
Yeah, nothing you can do here but just stay along for the ride.
Mechanicals are part of the game, but I think that's what makes it so frustrating, but that's what makes it so addicting, because you know if you have that run, you don't get a mechanical, you put your run together, that you can end up on the podium.
And, you know, things went right for Kerr last year. You got to give it up for the man right there. I mean, he had an amazing year. Ended up winning King of Crankworx by just 10 points, beating Adrian Larone. So here's Kerr making his way down with that flat tire.
Drifting it out there. Let's see, is he going to come in, drop the GLC drop here? There we go, little goon air off of that. Hucking it to flat there, manualing across the line, so.
And there it is, that flat tire. So that takes him out of the mix. Next up, man, we've been talking a lot about our next rider we're going to see. There's the Bulldog right there, Brooke McDonald. And this is the kind of day that could cater him, huh, Tristan?
This could. He's got the trail bike. This is what I'm excited about here. If he's going to be able to put it together. Again, it is a rough track. This is the kind of track that he would excel on when it comes to that. This guy can squash a jump. So off to the side, so different line choice there. Didn't really catch any air off that. And then scrubbing off the second jump. Going straight through the pothole there. Back on the pedals, rounding things out. Momentum is key here. You got to stay off the brakes. So he's flowing his way down in the lower part of A-line here.
Oh.
So 10 seconds back here. Should lead me to believe he's still feeling the effects of having that cold earlier this week.
Yeah,
and he's had some strong results, though. 3rd in Rotorua earlier this year in the downhill. Oh, he's looking down. What's he going on here?
Yeah, something's going on.
Kind of had a little look over the drive side, the back of the bike there. Yes, not pedaling. I wonder if he jammed up the chain guide or if he blew a chain off. Yeah, there we go. And also, chain is broken. You can see it dangling down by the derailleur there.
Oh, man, tough situation right there for Brooke McDonald. The Bulldog not able to put up a fast time today. That's going to end his shot at it. So right now, still kind of looking at things now. And if you're looking at the battle for the King of Crankworx, Adrian Larone is still in 9th place. So he can get some points if he can remain in the top 10.
Okay, so the chain actually blew right out of the chain guide there.
What the heck?
And that's the thing. I mean, the chain guide normally 99% of the time keeps the chain on, but the forces from over jumping some of the jumps, putting down the power right away, it's an easy way for it to blow right out of the chain guide there. So that's bittersweet. But we've only got a handful more riders to go here, and it's time to get excited. It's time to see things gas to flat with this guy.
Oh, yeah. Adam Brayton, we were talking about. Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Here we go. Adam Brayton.
He's been putting it together this year. Got himself a top 10 in a World Cup. 6th in Garbanzo yesterday.
Yeah, you're talking about UCI 4th in Fort William for Brayton earlier in the season.
Yeah. So he's been really stringing it together. He's always been a bit of a wow guy. He can make those crazy edits where you're like, man, that guy can ride a bike like no other. But he's been starting to put together the results here, really railing that corner. You can see the momentum as the bike compresses, it's flinging him out. So we're seeing him 5 and a bit seconds back here. We'll see if he's able to make up a little bit of time through the bottom part of the track here, but you got to think Bas is breathing another sigh of relief there.
Every time he sees someone that's back on that split, he can just kind of relax just a little bit more. And this one, 5 seconds back, should be tough for him to try and make that up on A-line as short as it is.
Exactly, which kind of leaves us with we've only 6 more riders on the track. But Adam there still putting it down, still staying committed the whole way down the track here.
And now you can see right there coming down the GLC for Brayton. Going to see what he can do here. Trying to get the best position possible. That's 11th place, 4:08.79. And taking a look at how things are going. Bass getting some congratulations as he sits there. He's been there. He's been camping out there. Got a campfire going on, sleeping bag all set up.
Well, we got a campfire band right now, bro. It's hot outside. There we go. You can see now no change recently in that top 5. Again, Brent Atkinson, 5th spot. Marcelo Gutierrez sitting in 4th. Blinkensop in 3rd. Harry Heath 2nd. And Bass van Steenbergen. That 404 is looking better and better and better. Nobody's crept any closer. Still just 1 second margin there. So strong showing from him.
Greg Williamson now going to see if he can challenge that time of Bass's 4:04.02.
Teammates with Matt Walker. You look at that left sleeve there. It's the GB flag, so he is your national champ. He gets to wear that with pride all year long here. Oh, blowing out almost a little wide on that first berm there. Getting sucked out into the soft stuff at the top there where people kind of start losing that front wheel. See if he's able to keep the momentum going down here. Airing out, getting a fair bit of air off that jump. Now coming down into the rock section. As always, the split time really says it's 6 and a bit seconds back.
Yeah.
So not in touch here. Not in touch with that overall time. But again, Greg's been having a really strong showing this year, which has been always positive to see. It's great to see a rider get his health together, start putting in results. And it's no joke. I mean, if you're from Great Britain and you're the national champ, it means you've beaten the likes of G. Atherton and many other folks that are from that part of the world that are extremely fast, extremely talented on the bike.
Well, let's see what Greg Williamson can do right now. Here we go. We're at that 4-minute mark. Around the corner here, then down the GLC. Just a few more to go. Get a couple more pedal strokes in. The time for him is going to be a 4:09.33, top 12 for Greg Williamson, 12th place with that run right there. And now down to, I think, about just 5 riders to go here.
Yeah, but Bass has got a reason to sweat with the next few riders. More specifically, the next rider that is due to drop in here. Because the next guy has won this event before.
Yeah.
He's won it recently. We're not talking a few years ago that
No,
he's
we're
won it. We're talking within recent memory. This guy has laid down the law, and he's tamed the track before.
And if you're wondering who we are talking about, well, I'll tell you what. We'll show you who we're talking about. We can do better than tell you. There it is, right there. There he is. Sick Mick Hanna. First in 2014, a 5th place finish last year. He's got 4 podiums in your Air DH. Here comes Sick Mick to try and challenge that time. 4:04.02, the time he's trying to beat.
So he's on the trail bike. Didn't catch any air off that first one. Squashing that second jump right there, textbook style. Getting up above the holes. So keeping his momentum going. And this guy is extremely, extremely strong when it comes to pedaling. Bass has a reason to be sweating right now until we see that split time. Here comes Mick coming in, so 2 and a bit back. This is definitely going to be a little bit scary down through the bottom part here. He lays off the brakes. Bike getting kicked out a little bit there. He's got to keep his momentum up through that pedal before the GLC. He's keeping things going here. Again, Mick Hanna on track. This guy won the race back in 2014, staying low. Didn't even catch any air over that tunnel jump there. Getting right to the inside, and this is where he's got to put down the power.
And you see him just pedaling it out right there, trying to get as many strokes in. Here we go, around the turn. He's going to approach the GLC. Sick Mick Hanna, airing it out. Rubber side down, pedal strokes across the line. Sick Mick, what's he get? 4:05.74, 3rd place for Mick Hanna. And Bass has dodged yet another bullet out here in your Fox Air DH.
Things were looking good there, Brad. I thought Mick was going to try and take it there, especially only being a couple seconds back. Bass must have laid down the run of a lifetime to be sitting in that hot seat for so long, dodging a bullet like Mick Hanna as he comes down.
And you see that hashtag long live chainsaw. Big stuff right there. Good to see that right there on this back. Sick Mick Hanna will settle for 3rd place right now with a 4:05.74.
Probably one of the nicest guys here on the Crankworx World Tour. Always has time for the kids, always has time for autographs and catching up with anybody out there.
Well, let's take a look at how things are stacking. There we go. Mick Hanna in that third spot. Harry Heath in the number 2 spot. Van Steenberg in number 1. 4:04.02. Now we've seen 9 different riders eclipse the time of Stevie Smith last year. So we're seeing 9 under the 4:07 mark so far today, Tristan.
Yeah, it's a very, very quick time there. I was surprised to see so many people at that point, but Bass is still sitting up there and still looking good with that 4:04. Nobody else is in that margin. Almost a full second ahead, and we're really getting down into it. There's only 4 more riders to go here.
Well, our next rider we should be seeing is Remy Thirion, and you look at what he's done this year. He's in the top 10 right now on UCI. He's ranked 9th in UCI ranked right now. You got a 9th in Fort Williams. So Thirion has been able to show that he can get up there and he can challenge the top times, and that's what he's going to try and do right now.
He's got the downhill bike, and this is the guy that tamed the hillside in Leger. Completely different conditions here today.
Wow, are they ever.
But staying on the pedals there, getting a little scrub squash to the side. But again, I think his Leger ride, like we keep talking about, will go down as one of the gnarliest rides ever in the mud. I've never seen a course deteriorate that way, but also provide such exciting racing. But he's trying to make things happen here today. Down the infamous A-line. So he's styling out over that jump. Keeping thing, but the split time will tell all. What has he got here coming in? Now down into the rocks here. So again, the downhill bike will excel in this terrain though, Brad. This is, we've seen lots of trail riders. You can see him carrying actually a fair bit more momentum down through the chicane there. But did he put in enough work up top where that is going to make an advantage of the rough part of the track?
Well, right. He needs to beat a 4:05.79 for third. Needs to beat a 4:05.01 for second, or to crush that 4:04.02 that Bass Van Steenbergen has in the overall lead. Here we go. Remy Thirion down the GLC. What is his time going to say? Getting as many strokes as he can across the line. And the time in 4:13.03, 24th place. So not challenging Bass on that one. So the worst Bass can do, looks like, is 4th now. Boy, this time has held up for a very long time.
Again, 3 more riders to go here, Brad. Only 3 of the fastest riders in the world to come down.
Well, let's see if we can hear from Hannah down there and see what's going on. Hannah, how's the vibe down there?
The vibe is pretty good. We haven't seen a lot of change in our top 3 so far. Bass is looking pretty comfy right now, but yeah, it's pretty tense down here. We got some good guys still coming down.
Indeed, and you look at Harry Heath right now. Harry Heath put that time up, Tristan, and he did that earlier. Right before we started with the webcast, Harry Heath had already put in one of the fastest times of the day, 4:05.01, and then Bass comes out of nowhere and he drops a bomb with a 4:04.02. Can that time be beat with our next 3 guys?
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I mean, Harry Heath was on the podium last year, so that was no joke that he's backing it up here again this year. 3rd last year, 2nd this year. But I don't know. I mean, I'm getting a little bit nervous here for Bass. But Thirion catching a lot of air, so he did not scrub or even squash. He went right out into the middle, right into the braking bumps.
Oh, yeah.
And then just hucking it straight down the center there. That was a squash attempt, but with a lot of amplitude.
And so now we'll focus all of our attention up top. Here we go. Connor Thirion now.
Connor doing the Enduro World Series earlier this week for 29th overall, so there's only 2 riders left. And I love watching this guy ride. His style is just so committing. He'll lay into a berm, slash the side of it, out of it, squash the jump, and we'll have to see what Connor Thirion can do here today. Again, another one of our athletes running their bike that they raced the Enduro World Series in. Got that, some people say, unlucky 13 on the back, or the lucky 13, and he's only 2 and a bit seconds back, so he's definitely in touch. He could make something happen here if he's able to stay off the brakes, and look at that committing style, just slamming into that turn back to back there.
Oh, he can't let up now. You got to do his best he can. Got to get the pedal strokes when he can get him in.
He's got to have the run of the lifetime down through the bottom part. You can see him conserving a bit of energy there, just going through the tuck into that final jump. Now he has to bury himself. Now he has to put himself in that pain cave if he wants to claw back a bit of time and get up into the podium there as he's rounding things out. Now coming into the GLC.
All right, down the GLC for Connor. Here we go. 4:04 and counting. Can he crack the top 5? The time in, 4:06.58, 6th place for Connor Fearon. Wow, so gave it his best, tried to make up that time towards the bottom section, but not to be able to knock Bass out of that top spot. 4:04.02, that is what everyone is trying to beat with one more to go. Up top, we're talking about Loic Bruni. And if you're gonna have one guy, that's the guy to go to stand in the way, you taking the win. That's a big name you don't want.
No, I would be, I'd be a little bit nervous right now. You know you've got yourself a podium position at the end of the day. But the problem is you've got Loic Bruni, world champion, up at the top of the hill there. So Bass, you're looking a little uncomfortable right now, bud. I feel ya. You're looking good in the Fox gear there, but you're looking like you're maybe a little bit nervous. Could be on the brink of your first elite level Crankworx podium here again. Bass van Steenbergen laying down the law right now with that 4:04.2. Harry Heath a second back, and then Mick Hannon rounded out things for the podium right there.
Well, it comes down to just one more guy to go. But before we get to that, I think we're going to check in with Hannah Bernard, who's standing by right now. Let's send it down to Hannah. Hannah?
Yes, guys, I want to ask Bass myself. You have one more rider to come down. You know you're finishing with a podium finish, but Loic Bruni, big competitor. How nervous are you feeling right now, Bass?
Definitely more nervous than at the top. Yeah, he's fast, so we'll see.
What would it mean to you to take away the gold here today?
A lot more than second.
That's a good answer. Bass van Steenbergen. One rider to come down, Loic Bruni coming up next. Guys, back up to you.
Oh.
A man of minimal words.
Yeah, but he knows this would be the biggest win for him ever here at Crankworx. So a big win today would just solidify that name, Bass van Steenbergen. I mean, he's such an amazing rider already, but he's still not had the big win. And, you know, in a 4th place finish in the Cliff Bar dual speed and style, that's very respectable. So this would be probably his best Crankworx to date.
Just showing how multi-talented he is, Brad. I mean, completely different discipline here today, but there is one rider left. That is a scary thing. And you can see Bruni is on track right now from our Quarks data. He's at that halfway point as he's working his way down. There is no other dots on that map. There is one man alone. He's got the #1 plate on the bike, the #1 right beside his name there. And he's the only guy that can make a difference here today.
Yeah, that's it right now. He's the last man to go with Bass van Steenbergen holding on, 4:04.02. The tension mounting down here in Skiers Plaza. Harry Heath in second, 4:05.01 for him. That'd be the silver medal. Mick Hanna rounding out your top 3. Mick would claim the bronze, Heath the silver, and Bass the gold if Loic can't do it here today. Well, man, I could think of 100 different names I would want behind me, and that's one that I would not want standing between me and a gold medal. Taking a look at things right now. Your Fox Air DH. 13th Fox Air DH here in the history book. Started way back in 2004, and it's been a mainstay. The Air DH, ever since 2004, it's been around, much like the Garbo. So a lot of history going down on A-line. And will Loic Bruni write the history books in a different way and come out with the win here and knocking Bass down to second? Now, Adrian Larone has already been bumped out of the top 10, so he's down at 11, so Larone will get no points.
Here we go. Here he is coming into view, scrubbing down. Manulin out of that. He's looking like he's playing around a little bit here, Brad. What's the split saying? He's back. Something must have happened there. Our world champion not in touch for the win here today. And look at that face. That is a face of excitement right there.
So Loic Bruni, the last one to go, standing between this big win for Bass van Steenbergen. Not sure what possibly went wrong for Loic, but not going to be his day.
Okay, so he's able to pedal there. I was thinking maybe a chain issue for a second. and there's air in the tires, so we can only maybe speculate on what happened if he had a little slide out or hit one of the holes or is just having a play run here today.
Well, that's going to do it right there. It's all but finished. He'll cross the line. It's official now, like a referee's whistle, and he'll take the big win. Bas van Steenbergen, the biggest win of his Crankworx career, taking the win here in the Fox Air DH. The Fox rider feeling good with them arms up in the air. All right, let's check in with Hannah standing by with officially our gold medal winner, Hannah.
A Fox rider taking the gold in the Fox Air DH. Bas, before this competition, you said you just wanted to get in the top 10. Now you're walking away with the gold. Tell me how good you feel right now.
I couldn't feel any better. I wouldn't have believed you if you told me that this morning. So, yeah, I'm stoked.
You've been a Crankworx regular for so long. This is your biggest accomplishment here at Crankworx Whistler. Talk to me. Just how good does it feel to kind of do it on home soil?
Man, I don't even know what to say. Like, I didn't think I was going to win that, so yeah.
What did you say to yourself before you dropped in here today?
I was actually not really looking forward to pedaling that much, so I was just going to suffer through it and, I don't know, just stay smooth, I guess.
A man of few words. Bas van Steenbergen taking away the gold medal here in the Fox Air DH.
Oh, congratulations, Bas. I bet you when he was sitting there eating his cereal this morning, he had no idea that he'd be coming away with the big win out here today. Taking a look at it right there. Mick Hanna, sick Mick, third place, grabbing the bronze medal. 1.72 off that top time. Harry Heath, 0.99 off the top time. But congratulations are in order. Bas van Steenbergen, he gets fourth at the Cliff Bar dual speed and style, but he comes out and takes the win in the Fox Air DH.
$60,000 trails in your pocket. Trailforks. Download the free app now.
And back here, it's a beautiful Whistler. Crankworx day number 6, man, going on for you in Fox Air DH. That is in the books. Let's take a look how things are stacking up for your Queen of Crankworx so far. And I'll tell you what, with Jill Kittner getting
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Look at that margin.
300 points.
Look at that margin. So, again, you only get 150 for a win right there. Yep. So, barring her sitting out and Casey winning a couple events in a row there, Jill Kittner's definitely out in front and in charge. And same with Casey Brown. Yeah. I don't think really Tracy's going to be able to get in touch with clawing up anymore there. So, but you can't say it's over until it's over because it's only Wednesday of Crankworx.
No, but you got to think that it's hers to win now. So Jill Kittner right there holding on to the top spot right there by 300 some odd points. So that's going to help her try and clinch the Queen of Crankworx and for her to get back in on top of things. And, well, let's go see how the king is shaping up, your king of Crankworx. And I'll tell you right now, that's shaping up in a good way if your name happens to be Sam Blankensop, that's for sure.
Exactly. Well, Adrian Lerone didn't score any points today, finishing in 11th place. So close to points, but so far away. So Sam Blenkinsop extending that lead a little bit there over Adrian Lerone. Matt Walker in third. So again, I just was surprised to see him up there yesterday, and things are definitely evolving here, Brad, and that's what we wanted, a good chase for the title.
Well, let's check in with Hannah Bernard with kind of an update of what's going on with the King of Crankworx. Hannah, what's happening down there?
Hey guys, well I'm actually standing here with a pretty good contender for King of Crankworx. Now as we saw the Queen of Crankworx race, Jill Kittner has a commanding lead. Different story for the King of Crankworx. It is a very, very tight race. Now, Sam Blenkinsop just got ahead of you by 65 points. That's got to give you motivation to come in with vengeance for the rest of the week. How do you feel right now?
Pretty tired. This run was pretty exhausting. I don't want to think too much about the King of Crankworx ranking. The week is long. There is few events coming. So yeah, I just want to be focused on tomorrow event, pump track, doing something well, then Joe slalom. Then we'll see at the end. We never know. So just staying focused, one event by one event, and let's see.
All right, I'm going to make you think about the King of Crankworx just one more time. What would it mean to walk away with that title and $25,000?
Oh, that's amazing. It's something that I really want for sure. Everybody is pushing so hard to get it. And Blanky is pretty good. Matt Walker is pretty good too. Everybody's consistent and polyvalent at the same time. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. You almost had it last year. We're rooting for you this year. Adrian Lerone currently sitting in the second spot for the King of Crankworx race. Guys, back up to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Adrian Lerone right there. Well, and you look at what Adrian Lerone has. He has pump track, and he has pump track tomorrow night, and that's an event that he can win because he's won it a bunch of times.
It is, but it's a completely different type of track and a different format in terms of that tomorrow evening. Again, new venue tomorrow night up at Base 2 on Blackcomb, so you can catch the gondola up there for free as well from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., and it's going to be an awesome, awesome place to be, especially with the weather and the way the seating's set up there. It's free. You can hang it on the hillside, and it's awesome view.
I'll tell you what, that track, that pump track course is amazing for sure. Earth Odyssey putting that one together. And that's tomorrow, so join us more for the broadcast. Again, so all you people watching at home, we'll be back on with the broadcast tomorrow night for your Pump Track Challenge presented by RockShock. Well, an amazing day out here. Jill Kittner, she did it the 4-peat. I mean, and she did it by a pretty big margin, didn't she?
She did do it by a big margin, but she's been super focused. She knew what she had to do. She's got her eyes on the prize.
And you know what? The biggest win of his Crankworx career, we're talking about Bas van Steenbergen, he has done it for the guys. Well, we'll be coming up with our final thoughts right after this. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Air DH in the books right here. Day number 6. That's right. Right here, Crankworx Whistler. We'll be right back.
To be the best, you have to go all in. We're all in. 100% dedicated to one by. The 12-speed cassette's 10 to 50 tooth spread gives you a 500% gear range. This is Eagle, the all-new generation of one-by drivetrain technology from the company that lives one by.
For 75 years, Jeep has been a class leader in 4x4 capability, pushing 4x4 fuel economy farther and finding comfort zones in an award-winning interior. They say it's lonely at the top, but finding parking is a breeze.
4x4 today, tomorrow, and never say never.
Jeep Cherokee, with attractive financing offers now available.
Existence, we're walking on thin ice. We take every breath for granted. We strike with divine rights. Pursuit of progress with reckless abandon. The damage left for the next. Like toxic heavy down. It's only you against you. You're no one's enemy. You don't know the truth. The title when we win. It's only you against you. This world will unravel. It's our destiny. Man will destroy itself.
Fox Air DH, man, it's hard to believe, Tristan, when you think about it. 13 years we have seen this race from the beginning all the way to now. And any surprises the way things kind of turned out for you? Final thoughts?
I mean, the surprise today is Bass van Steenbergen, another, one of those stories. The guy's never won at a Crankworx event and just did so today, beating the best in the world in the process.
Congratulations to Bass van Steenbergen and Jill Kittner. Tell you what, on behalf of everyone, our Crankworx crew, thanks for tuning in. Tune back in. Pump Track Challenge presented by Rock Socks. That is tomorrow night. Don't miss out.
Again, massive day here. All of our riders putting on one heck of a show for everybody, hanging in live with us or tuning in with our broadcast on the World Wide Web. And what a day. Things just getting started here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, on behalf of Hannah Bernard, our entire Crankworx crew, thanks for being part of it. Tristan Merrick, I'm Brad J. And a very goodbye right here from Crankworx Whistler, day number 6. Tune back with us tomorrow.